This is a super exciting product for us, really for a product that hasn't been all that exciting in the last 10 plus years. This is our take on the traditional tube. This is the 2.5-inch Juvy Craw. What makes us so excited about this bait is how many times have you looked in your live well or you notice those fish are coughing up tiny little juvenile craws. And really there's nothing on the market that fit that, that style of bait that we needed better than this bait here that we've just developed. We've had this bait out on the water since spring. We've been putting it through the ringer to make sure that it works. The amount of changes we've gone through during that process of having those 50 plus fish days, seeing how it holds up, seeing how it catches fish, seeing where the hook placement is, all of those details are so important, and we really dialed this thing in so that when you get them to bite, not only are they gonna hit it aggressively, you're gonna land those fish. The durability is gonna allow you to get right back in there. We know how smallmouth school up. We know that time is of the essence. The last thing you wanna be doing is dealing with a ripped plastic. This thing's gonna hold up for, we've caught up to 20 fish on one bait, and I'm telling you, there's no better feeling than being able to throw it back in there and being hooked up right after the last fish you landed. So the features that make this bait so unique start with the cavity. You can insert our Mini Pro tube head. The other thing that's really cool about it is it's got a little slit in the head, and the hook sits right in between the two tentacles and in the slit of the head. What that does is it allows you to put some pressure on the face of the bait, lift the tentacles up, keeps the hook placement up where you want it so it's not rolling. It also sits right between the claws. So we found that the vast majority of these fish will eat it, and the hook will penetrate right through the roof of the mouth or right through the cheek, which is ideal for landing these giant smallmouth. So this bait actually has the perfect amount of buoyancy in the material to lift the claws and the tentacles. Not so the bait sits straight up, but it wants to sit with the claws facing the fish. Again, we believe that's a huge thing to trigger big bites. Now, how you fish this bait is you either want to slow drag it along the bottom with slight little hops. You can also lift it and give it a couple little hops in your rod tip while you're lifting the bait to kind of mimic a small crayfish swimming and then landing. And then another way that we found that we're able to get some other fish to bite that would otherwise not be interested in the bait on the bottom is actually swimming it by moving your rod tip just slightly as you're retrieving the bait. What that does is it gives the bait this really cool kicking and swimming action that, if you've ever seen a crawfish underwater, it's got this really cool little tail kick, and it mimics that perfectly. Yeah, so I'm just bombing it out there. I've got a point here, and there's some rock extending off this point with a bit of grass mixed in, and basically what you do with the Juvy Craw is you just bomb it out there. There's one. Bomb it out there. That's a little one, but you're just dragging it along the bottom slowly. And every once in a while, give it a little hop. Think about a little crawfish and how it swims backwards. Every once in a while, it gets startled and it hops, right? So that's all we're doing with this bait. It's, we've got a killer tube head here in the Mini Pro tube head, and we set out to develop the perfect tube bait for it. And I can tell you, this thing is an absolute winner. What's cool about it, you can see the tube hook is right there in the mouth, and oftentimes the bait slides up, gets out of the way, so it's just less leverage. It's just you, the fish, and that hook, and yeah, you're just slowly creeping that bait. Man, that thing sticks really good. Slowly creeping that bait along the bottom. We'll get this one back and catch another one. What's really unique about this bait compared to a traditional tube is the flat bottom that we incorporated into it. So when we're moving this bait through the water column, dragging it on the bottom, giving it hops, if we decide we want to dead stick that bait is going to sit perfectly on its belly, on the bottom. Those claws are going to do its thing, and it's not going to roll over like other tube style baits that are on the market. And for us, that looks so much more natural, and really that's what triggers these giant fish. We've been having an absolute blast all summer testing this bait, dialing it in, catching monster smallmouth, and we're just now so excited to bring this bait to you guys, the 2.5-inch Juvy Craw.